54 of our 0 to 10K challenge have not been prioritized on making my own money. So, I gotta get back to it. All good though. You know, I'm just spending the time that I do have, and I am putting time into, I'm putting that time into building systems, and those systems will allow me to get more and more time back to pursue the things that I need to pursue, more and more time back to grow the company in the way that'll be most successful. And again, it's truly the most about how efficient can you be with your time, which is what I'm doing. Like, how efficient can I be? Like, it's not like, we're not talking about hypotheticals. How efficient can I be? And with the, 8 hours, 10 hours of time that I have, how can I appear to be doing, what it seems is ooh, sounds pretty. I love the whine of a turbo or a supercharger. Like, how can I appear to be working almost 24 hours a day? Like, I want it to look and feel as if, like, holy crap, like, how is this guy doing all this and then still getting work done? Like, what the heck? Like, where did he find the time to do that? And it just, like, it all points back to this thing called intensity. And it goes back to the idea that, like, intensity gives you one thing. Intensity is what some people call focus, right? It's called sometimes, I don't want to say clarity, but intensity gives you the chance to put all your energy into one single task. And when you get enough intensity behind a task, you start to create real momentum, because when you start the task, you're extremely inefficient. You are not really defining the problem you're solving. You're really just creating work, appearing to be busy. But as you go through the stages, intensity will allow you to focus all your energy, right? And look at it as a fire hydrant, right? And you could think about focus, I could say your time and your energy would be the water out of a fire hydrant, and the size of the hole would be what you would call, if you're coming out of like a 4-inch hole, it's gonna be just that strong. It's still gonna blow you away, but it's just not enough to cut steel, right? But if you were to just minimize that intensity, truly allows you to get somewhere that you may not have gotten, right? So think about it. You start at this 6 inches, and then you go to 4 inches, and as you get a little bit more clarity in the problems you're solving, your circle starts to shrink, but not in a bad way. But that allows you to be intense in your problem solving. It allows you to stuff in what it looks like hours and weeks and days of work into minutes, and and then what happens is, once you get once you understand what you're solving for, the problem you're solving for, you turn that huge 6-inch gaping wide hole that a freaking animal could crawl through to something that is that strong, but is so focused on one single point that it can cut through steel, cut through marble, cut through stone, right? And it goes back to that, where your intensity in a certain topic will grant you, I believe, clarity, and will open doors that would not otherwise have been there, right? So, give you guys a really good example. I look like I got a 10-inch CAC. Well, and that's only because, not that far from it, but that's only because a few things. I've understanding the problem I'm trying to solve for. And it's not an issue, but what I see people run into is they want, and I hear it all the time, and I'm finally getting it, that people think they have a problem. They think the problem is like posting content or getting leads. No, like the real problem is they don't have a problem. Like they're not solving for anything. They're just creating systems to appear busy. They're creating systems to maybe make something easier, but it truly is like an extra step. But when you have a problem, like we have an issue with, loading vehicles, for jobs. It's like, now that's something you could solve for. And that allows you to shrink that huge diameter of, damn, like, what should I work on, to, I'm going to focus on this. And that allows you to be, even if you're working on that for 30 minutes to an hour, that specific problem may be able to be solved in an hour. It's just, it won't be able to be solved if, like, you're not going to be able to break through it if you don't understand your problem. So our problem was a few things. Like, I solved for timesheets, right? But it's not timesheets is the issue. The issue we're solving for is not like employee management. The problem we're solving for is finding where everybody's working. That's one problem, right? So, and then the other problem is, after finding out where everybody is working, deducing when we get an issue from a certain area, we're trying to find, is it a one-off occurrence? Is it happening to a certain crew? What is the frequency in which this is happening, and what person, if any, is responsible? Or it'll help us deduce it's not our people making issues, it's actually our product. So, and then it'll help us go into batch numbers, and maybe people aren't even installing incorrectly. Maybe our batch changed, and now it's causing issues, right? But we're trying to solve for, if there's issues, what team and who did it, right? So now not blame everybody. That boils down to creating a more streamlined approach to manage time, right? Because then you think about it, we're solving for like, who's responsible for the issues. And after you find out who's responsible, you may not get to the result that you thought of. It's not like, for instance, when I'm building it, I'm thinking I'm building a scheduling app, right? Which just schedules apps and goes to a project management. And when we go to the project management, it automatically assigns, a job. And it didn't work out that way because the information that I'm getting is considered static information, meaning it doesn't change. Like, job description may not change after I get it the first time. So the square footage of the job won't change. The type of product they want for that job won't change. Rarely ever will it. But what does change is people on the job site. So I'm doing something to solve an issue, but creating more work. So it's like, that's not a solution. So what it boiled down to was trying to create a project management tool for transparency, but that really just fizzled out, because all the ways to make it work, you still can't assign people 1 month in advance to a job, right? So it doesn't work out. So I get to save myself one step, but still have a problem, because there's like, well, that doesn't work out the way I want it to, and I believe that's just an extra step, something else to manage, something else to break. So we're going to scratch that. So we go down another rabbit hole and say, well, screw it. We're going to go and we're going to try to, we're going to go down the rabbit hole and find out how can we do that. So we go down the rabbit hole and we find out, hey, I'll just make a description mandatory. And that said description will contain a text there saying address of job and crew. So now we have people assisting that know exactly who was there and potentially what caused that to happen. Whether it was a rainy day, all this stuff. So creating systems around problems is way better than creating a system just for the sake of having a system. You have to solve for something, which allows you that, I could say, the intensity to follow through and break through and get a result, have an outcome. Now that we're solving for things like where the issues are arising from, we need to fix the issue of people not bringing everything they need to a job site. So that boils down to something completely different. So then I within like an hour, I was able to, basically create just like a load in, load out checklist. And that load in, load out checklist will allow us to basically, let me see, let me just like make sure I get it right. That load in, load out checklist that in my mind is supposed to work, what it does is it now begins to have a collaborative, in my eyes, it's supposed to have a collaborative effort where, hey, we're looking at this checklist that's, we're going to be doing this every day for just making sure we have everything, which is just checking a box, like no numbers, none of that. But now you're busy and you say, hey, I'm busy. Can you finish this for me? Right? Boom. Now you have your coworker that is now, hedging it with you. And now he's also assisting and saying, hey, we're missing this. Oh, let me go get it now. So, those last minute Home Depot buys and they don't happen at the cost of the job. They happen when you're still at the shop, where you're close to everything, where you still have access to things, and it's not as detrimental. So things like that. And then we're going down to inventory, and now we get to, since we're trying to solve a problem, we could pay someone to manage that said problem until we don't have one anymore, right? And that's what's beautiful about what we're doing is, we're not creating a problem. We found a solution, a potential solution to a problem. And with their help to solve that issue, we get two things. With their potential help, we'll be able to start getting inventory, getting inventory right, getting weekly, monthly inventory, and or seeing how we're going to do it. And then on top of that, we are going to be able to move forward, and if that person truly owns that task, they will be responsible for ordering the stuff that's needed. Gonna get them access to the vendors or certain buttons. But people, if you don't have a problem, you have nothing to solve for. We're only as valuable as the things we're trying to resolve. So, with that being said, if you lack direction and clarity, just find a problem in your life and then think about not try to create systems around solving that problem that will make your life better. This has been Mark. Bye-bye.